some of this morning's other stories, and police in England and Wales will no longer respond to concerns about mental health if there's no risk to life or a crime being committed. The government says welfare calls are preventing officers from fighting crime, but mental health campaigners say lives could be put at risk. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Tom Simons.
I'd say I deal with at least one mental health job a shift. Quite recently we had a man hanging out of a first floor window, his bathroom window, trying to get out to kill himself.
PC April Clark, 4 years in the job, during which she's become used to handling suicide attempts.
I feel responsible for their life at that moment, because it is quite literally in my hands, especially with that incident. You can't let them go, you can't let anything happen to them. You've just got to do what you can and reassure them and their family until the sort of right help can come along.
A life at risk, that's always a job for the police, but many other calls to 999 are far less serious.
When people are sort of going home for their weekend on their sort of 9 to 5 hours job and they don't want the sort of worry on themselves for the weekend, they'll ring us and just get us to go and do a little check.
Somehow, police chiefs say, we've ended up providing the primary emergency service for mental health. Now that's going to change.
There's a question the police are increasingly going to be asking. Is this just a concern about someone's welfare, or is there a genuine risk to life? And the place where that question is going to be asked most of all is right here, the police 999 control room.
Call handlers like Tim Brown are training to decide whether a life is at risk or a crime being committed. If not...
So it doesn't meet the threshold for attendance, and as a result we will not be attending, OK? So I will probably get in contact with the ambulance and then they can make the referrals to mental health if that is required, OK?
How much do you think previously you were actually helping the NHS, the ambulance service, care homes, do their jobs, rather than your own forces police officers do the jobs that they need to do?
Yeah, we did help them quite a bit, but we already know that the workload and the jobs that they take on and how important they are as well. So it's not something that you sort of sigh about or roll your eyes about. You're happy to do it. But again, it just goes back to that, who's needed for it, and it's not the police.
Yeah, you can TOA us, and if you could send this to LAS.
But the police are being called because the NHS is under pressure. So new services will be needed, like these crisis drop-in centres, offering a safe haven for people struggling with their mental health.
The NHS Mental Health Trusts are getting an extra £2.3 billion a year, landing by March of next year. They're building a lot of extra capacity. And we've seen in Humberside, where this model has been rolled out over the last 3 years, that the police and the NHS working together can make this really effective.
The College of Psychiatrists has warned those resources may not be ready within the 2 years it will take to adopt the new approach. But the government believes this is a change which will save 1 million police hours a year to spend catching criminals.